Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 40 Days of Love series, you guys. We are on prepping for day number 6, which is tomorrow. So if you're joining me, please let me know if you can hear me well and if it seems like the video is playing well. Those are the two things I need you to help me with. So I would appreciate it if you would do that. Thank you guys so much for joining me. 40 Days of Love, you guys. We are already done with 5 days, right? So we're an eighth of the way in, right? If you look at it in fives, we're an eighth of the way in. You can do this. I know it's hard. I know it's extra hard when there's no reciprocity, but that is okay because this really is about you. So I am thankful for each and every one of you that are joining me. If you're new here, my name is Pastor Shakima. I have a ministry called First Love Ministries with Shakima Wilson. I believe in marriage. I am a marriage champion. Hey, ma'am, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Please do chime in the chat. Let me know where you're joining me from. It is always an honor and a privilege to have you guys share with me or have me share with you all. Thank you so much for inviting me into your homes. Now, we are going to jump right in. We're going to recap day number 5, which was today. I hope you have had time to reflect on what you did and didn't do, because I would never come on here thinking that everybody does the days perfectly. There's some hard days. I mean, it's just too much sometimes, especially when you're trying to reach and they're not reaching back. That can be a little stinging sometimes. Like, I'm doing this for us. They don't know you're doing it, or they shouldn't know, right? So that can be a little tough when you feel like you're in it by yourself. But what I want you to know is I'm here every night. So if you need to chime in the chat, girl, let me tell you what, I tried my best and it did not go well. Hey, we all have those days, right? So we're not going to beat ourselves up. We're going to reflect on what we did and didn't do. Reflect on the hard parts. If you did not manage today, today's this is a recap. Ask your spouse to tell you 3 things that cause him or her to be uncomfortable or irritated with you. You must do so without attacking them or justifying your behavior. This is from their perspective only. You don't get a rebuttal when they say, okay, this is what I don't like, or this is what bothers me. All you get to say is, thank you so much for telling me. I'm going to work on it, right? You don't get to, oh no, because this is what you do to bother me. There's no back and forth. There's no reciprocity in this. You were asking for their input. They gave it to you, hopefully, within the right spirit, I pray, because, some people don't do that. But when they tell you what it is, my recommendation is always write it down, because when you write it down, you can go back and you can review. Sometimes I can't deal with this right now. I need to write it down. Hurt my feelings. That's done. You don't like this, and this. I thought I was doing all that stuff perfectly, but not to them, right? So we're asking for their perspective. And so I want to be able to go back when I'm clear thinking, when I'm not in my emotions, when I'm not on a 10, and then look at it. Give it some thought, give it some prayer, because there's probably something in here that you can agree on in what they said. And if you need clarity, it's always okay to go back and say, hey, you told me this, but can you really unpack that for me a little bit? Can you dig a little deeper? Because I'm unclear, right? You're not trying to, again, defend yourself. You're just trying to get clarity so you know what to work on. Remember when I said that the 40 Days of Love, while we're doing it towards our spouse, it is really meant to change us. I've done this study. I think this is my 4th or 5th time. And every time I go back and reflect, I don't have anybody to dare right now. But if I did, what would they tell me? I know this day would hurt my feelings. I'm the perfect spouse. I'm doing all the things right. Oh, no, you are not. Not according to them. And so, again, this would be a day that probably more than likely would hurt my feelings. But that's okay. My feelings will recover. I need to make sure that I'm doing what is best for my spouse and our marriage. Okay. So that was day number 5. Y'all, it was a hard one. I tell you, right? So we can do hard things. Just keep hanging with Shakima. We can do hard things. All right. We're prepping for day number 6. Day number 6 is a doozy as well. I'm like, geez Louise, what is going on? Day 6, love is not irritable. Day 6 is an acceptance day. Your source verses for day 6 are Proverbs 16:32, Colossians 3:12 and 13, Proverbs 17:9, 1 Thessalonians 5:11, 1 John 4:8. There were some other ones, Philippians 4:6 and 7, Exodus 18:17 through 23, Proverbs 25:16, Matthew 12:34, James 4:1 and 3, Ephesians 4:31, and 1 Timothy 6:9 and 10. I don't think I put all those verses in. I will try to go back and update that. So all those verses are in there. But again, remember, you got the category and the source verses from the marriage evaluation. If you did not go in and take the marriage evaluation, it is time for you to go in and do it. It does not matter what your score is. It matters that you have information. Data can always help you in the long run. I'm going to go in, I'm going to answer honestly. It's going to tell you where you are strong and where you have room for improvement. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have room for improvement. Out of 1,000 points, I scored an 857, but I'm answering from being divorced, right? Where I am now, not where I was then. I had someone do the marriage evaluation for me the other day. They scored a 164 out of 1,000. There's some issues here. The marriage is in peril, and we need to jump on this or there will be no marriage. So listen to Shakima very carefully. All you're taking that marriage evaluation for is data. You need to know what you're doing well and where you need room for improvement. And that's all it is. You don't even have to tell your spouse that you're doing it. Don't lie. Be very open and honest about what it is that you're doing or not doing, and then see how you can grow. It's all about growing. Day 6, again, love is not irritable. Proverbs 16:32, he who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who captures a city. Here's what he says on page 26. If you're following along in the book, this is the Love Dare. The Love Dare, you can find this on Amazon, or you can Google the Love Dare PDF, and you should see a full-fledged, somebody scanned it all in and put it up there. It wasn't me. He says, love is hard to offend and quick to forgive. Can you testify to that? Are you hard to offend, or do you get offended by everything? A lot of times, especially women, we are emotional. You say something to me wrong, oh, that has rubbed me all the wrong ways. We are not friends hereafter, right? Sometimes we jump quick to a conclusion. We don't hear things through, and that doesn't make good for a marriage, right? But we're irritable, and he talks about the things that make you irritable. But this is what he said: to be irritable means to be near the point of a knife. You ready to stab somebody? Ready to? Boy, you better go ahead with yourself. Get away. You know what I'm saying? Especially when people are bothering you. A lot of times we got stuff going on. I'm in 14 places. I'm one person and I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to manage these kids. I'm trying to manage this marriage. I'm trying to manage my ex who's paying child support. I'm trying to manage his ex and it's too much, right? And so we find ourselves, when you're dealing with a lot and all of that chaos, now your emotions are involved and you get itchy and scratchy. You ready to fight somebody. And what I said the other day, you tend to lash out at your spouse because they live with you. You ain't lashing out at nobody at work. You need them dollars. Not anymore. Tell me, Shanita, what did I say? Is my sound good? Just let me know, because I'm not following your comment, but I want to. I really do. So here's the thing. How easily do you get offended or irritated, right? Do you know how if you get something in your eye, like an eyelash or something? Oh, very good. Me either, girl. I worked on that thing. I asked the Lord to deliver me, because, honey, I didn't even have anger. I had rage, blinding rage. And I told the Lord, I said, God, this is not good for Shakima. I need you to deliver me. And the Lord instantly delivered me from rage. I very rarely get upset. I'm not saying I don't get upset, but I have learned how to just, this is not important. This is not a priority, and it's not worth my expended energy to get angry over this. But if there's a problem, let me try to solve it. So I'm glad that is something that you have dealt with as well, because we get angry, and again, it's at the people who live with us. So we got to manage that, right? Let's try to do our very best to manage it. But if you ask your spouse, again, going back to asking them, what would they say? Are you easily irritable? Are you easily upset? I try my very level best to not go there, right? What's worth me going there? Having hurt feelings, being angry with my spouse for days, having silence in the home. I don't think anything is worth me going there. I need to figure out what's the root cause of the problem. Why do I feel like this? And then I need to manage those feelings. All right. He says people who are irritable are locked, loaded, and ready to overreact. When under pressure, love doesn't turn sour. It doesn't shut down. I wrote this in. These are my words. Love doesn't shut down or shut people out. It does not go silent. Love does not go silent. We talking. Now, again, when you're in a heated fellowship moment, right? You're in a heated fellowship moment. Sometimes you need a break. Listen, I need 5 minutes. I hear what you're saying, and I know you need an answer, but you don't want the answer I got right now. Give me some time. We're not going to bed mad. That's not what we're doing. But I need a few minutes to kind of get my thoughts together, to kind of manage how I'm feeling, and then I'm going to come back. But when you're offended, a lot of people tend to go into silence. When you're silent, especially for women, we ruminate. We're thinking about all the things. And now we have created scenarios in our head that don't even exist. But we created them because he's not talking. Why is he not talking? Well, who he talking to? Maybe he's talking to somebody else. And we've given our husband a mistress. And he just don't want to talk to you. That's all, because you're irritable. He's like, no, I'm just going to give you time to cool off. But that's how we generally tend to be. Men are not usually overly emotional. And so love doesn't blame. It doesn't blame somebody else for my issue, right? Love is calm under pressure. It is calm under pressure. He says, if you are walking under the influence of love, you will be a joy and not a jerk. Now listen, are you a joy or a jerk? You can answer that, or you can ask your spouse. Ask yourself, am I a calming breeze or a storm waiting to happen? Now, this is my truth, and if you were in my life 15 years ago, you would know this to be true. I was a storm waiting to happen. Now, I was a slow storm, right? Because a lot of things have happened to me in my life that I could not control. And it was brewing, right? All of that stuff, when people mistreat you and do harm, that stuff is in you, and it's just brewing. It's just waiting for the opportune time to explode, right? So I'm going to tell you the truth. I was a storm. And especially when I was married. Oh, you're not going to come to me crazy. Oh, no, sir. I don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it, but this is me. You better understand who I am. I'm a Wilson. Tilly, you not. And he would come at me, and I would go right back, because you're not going to best me. Here's what I decided, y'all. And it was a wrong decision. It was good. I don't know if it was right or wrong, but y'all judge it. Because I had gone through so much in my life, I decided when I got grown and I got old enough to protect me, nobody was going to hurt me again. And so if you coming at me crazy, I'm going to protect me. And even if that means I got to hurt you. So I would come back at him when he would come at me. And it was so bad. And then again, I went to the Lord and I said, God, this is not characteristic of you. You're not like this. You don't hold a grudge. You don't get angry. You're not easily offended. Or if you get angry, Jesus is the go-between. So he kind of calms it all down. So I said, Lord, I need you to help me. And immediately when I prayed that prayer, the Lord delivered me. I don't mean he slowly delivered me from rage. He delivered me for real. It was an instant deliverance. And I don't think I have been raged in 20 years, maybe, or more. What situation could cause me to go to that point? I'm not sure that there is one. There may be one, but I don't know of one at the moment. So I'm thankful that the Lord has calmed me down. I don't get irritable. I really don't. My kids used to know that irritable mom. Like I said, 15 years ago, it was a different situation. None of y'all would have wanted to know me. But my kids asked me the other day, they say, Mom, you don't really get angry about anything, do you? Over time, as I've allowed the Lord to just kind of rule and reign over my heart and my life, I've kind of calmed down. I always pray this prayer, y'all. Maybe y'all should pray this too. I pray, Lord, settle my spirit, right? When I'm all irritable, discombobulated, when things are going crazy, I just pray, Lord, gentle my spirit, gentle my spirit. Y'all, I'm rocking back and forth praying to the Lord. Hands, just like this. Gentle my spirit, Lord, gentle my spirit, because I don't want to come at people crazy, because I can't. Okay. But I would pray this over and over and over. I think I probably have prayed this, 16 years, and I was married we were together for the last 30 years. I have prayed, God, gentle my spirit, gentle my spirit, gentle my spirit. And when you pray and you believe the Lord, he eventually does what you ask, right? Anything you pray in my name, let it be done, right? Anything you pray in my name. I want a gentle spirit. I don't want to come at people. I don't want to always be in fight mode. I don't want to be in flight mode where I'm running, right? Gentle me enough, God, so that I am sober of thinking and I'm able to deal with whatever the situation is. I'm not always right. Newsflash, whoop, Shakima's not always right. That's probably one of the hardest pills you have to swallow, that you're not always right and it's not always the other person. Sometimes it is us. So again, I'm going to get to the root of the problem. Why am I like this? He says there are two key reasons why we are irritable. One reason is stress. And if y'all have pencil and paper or your book, write this down or circle what he put here. He says stress weighs you down, drains your energy, and weakens your health and invites you to be cranky. Now, everybody has been around a cranky baby. That baby just hollering and crying and screaming, and you don't know what's wrong. You do everything you can to get that baby to calm down. Honey, that baby got gas. Just work them legs till that gas come on out, and then they will feel much better, right? But sometimes we are the cranky ones. And why are we cranky? He says it can be brought on by relational causes. This is things that happen out in our relationships. We're arguing, we can't decide together, we're divided, and we bitter. Listen, we have excessive causes. We're overworked, we overplay, and we overspend. When you are working 70, 80, and 90 hours a week, you don't have any time for your family. And when you don't have time for your family, now the wife or whoever's not working that many hours and is at home, they mad because all you do is work, but all you do is spend. So then they got to work so that they can cover your spending. So it's all of these, you're excessive in all the things. You got to go to Costco. I had someone one other time who was having money issues, but they kept shopping at Costco. Costco is a big box store. You buy that in bulk. You don't have enough people in your house to shop at Costco. You need to shop at a regular grocery store because you're spending $1,000 on groceries in a week. You don't have enough people for that. Therefore, your spouse is having to work these many hours to try to cover all of that, and it causes friction in the house. Where can we scale back? Where can we got to trim somewhere. You got to be able to come together. That's why I always tell couples, if you can, meet once a week. Sundays is what I recommend. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, get the kids either fed and bathed and ready for bed, or get them in bed, and then me and babe, we sit down. I got my calendar, he got his calendar. We keep track of where each other is for the week, and then we talk finances. You've got to talk finances in your marriage. If you don't, it's one of the biggest causes of divorce. I need to know where I got to cover, or I need to know where you can cover, because we're drowning right now. Is there any way? I'm on a no spend 2026. I'm trying to save $20,026 in 2026. I can't buy nothing unless it's essential. If it is not essential, it will not be bought, because I have goals. And if I have a spouse and we had goals together, I'm overspending, he overworking, we're never going to get ahead. Think about that. Think about, we're trying to get ahead, but what are you doing that's keeping you from that? So that's excessive, right? He says you also have deficiencies. If you're not getting enough rest, most of us, especially women, we multitasking. Honey, we trying to be Proverbs 31. She got up early. She stayed up late at night. She'll never sleep. She did have to sleep. She did have to rest. Your body needs rest. I am not a sleeper. 5 hours is about my max limit. But there are days when I am worn slap out. I'm so tired I can't sleep. But I'm moving all the time. I got this thing and that thing, and my son has to be here. My daughter needs help, and I got to do the social media and then the ministry, and then I work a job, like for real job, right? So I work a job, and it's all these things that are pulling for my attention. So I don't have any other choice but to get up early so that I can get one thing done, and stay up late so I can get something else done. And all throughout the day, I'm pulled and I'm stretched in so many different areas, and that's what is causing the irritation. He says you also deficient because you lack good nutrition. Honey, all we've been doing for the last 2 weeks is eating out at somebody's restaurant, and I can't do it. I told my kids, listen, this is just too much for me. All of that process, all of these dye 30s and green this and all the things, child. I don't have time for this. I have a garden. Let me just go get my fresh vegetables and cook that. I need good, healthy, proper nutrition to keep my body fueled and moving. But if all you're doing is sliding through the drive-through, honey, we know what's happening there. It's convenient, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's convenient, but it does nothing to promote proper health. That's just my little opinion. Or you don't exercise. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to tell nobody to go out here and exercise because I'm out here exercising for 3 people, and I still don't love it. But I can say that the more I exercise, the healthier my body gets. It's good for me. I just don't love it. I'm clear thinking. My muscles are becoming redefined. I'm tapping into muscles I never knew I had. Y'all hear me? Y'all, it's stuff I ain't never knew I had, but I got it. And so I'm tapping in, and it makes me feel better. I go home, I grab a quick shower, I get a good meal to replenish what I have burned off in the gym. And then I am really ready to kind of tackle what I have to tackle in the evenings at my home. Now, some of you might be morning workout people. It's not for me. I'm not a 5 a.m. person. I'm trying to sleep till the very last minute because I don't sleep as it is. But once I get up, I go to work, and immediately when I leave work, the first place I go is the gym. My schedule allows for that. My son is at his activities, so by the time he's done, I'm done at the gym, swoop him up, and then we're back, right? So think about those types of things. It says, oftentimes we inflict these daggers on ourselves, and this sets us up to be irritable. Sometimes you are overextended. He did talk about that briefly in the chapter. You're overextended. You say yes too much. You are a yes girl or a yes man. Everybody who needs help, yes. Everybody who needs something, yes. Everybody who needs you to run an errand, yes. Everybody who needs you to loan them money, yes. And you just overextended. Sometimes it's okay to say no. No is a healthy answer. Or not this time. I'm a pass. Can you get somebody else? See, those are okay answers. But we want to be involved. We want to be a part. Sometimes you're involved in too much stuff. I used to be involved in everything. I was in everything. And here's the truth. The Lord has graced me with a lot of gifts, and I can do a lot of things. But I was killing myself, and I was killing my kids because I'm there. I'm a single mom. I'm there, they there. And there was so much chaos going on in the house. Honey, we didn't have, the kids were dragging. And finally, I had to say, you know what? Nope, this is too much. My son and my daughter, my son was taking Taekwondo on one end of the county. My daughter was taking dance on the other side of town. And I was running her to drop him off at Taekwondo, take her to dance, go back and get him from Taekwondo, pick her back. I said, you know what? I did that for about a season. I said, no, this is not for me. So I took my daughter out of dance and put her in Taekwondo. My son is a very skilled martial artist. You are going into martial arts, period, the end. I can't do it. And I hated it for her because she had danced since she was like 2 years old. But I don't have the capacity to be everywhere, because if I'm everywhere, then I can't be good to myself. And then when you're doing too many things, when you are juggling too many balls, eventually you drop the balls, right? You got too many balls in the air, you're going to eventually drop the balls. So my suggestion is don't juggle. Know what season of life you're in. If you're able, do it. If you're not able, don't. If it's going to cause friction and stress within your household, the 4 walls of your household, then it is not worth it, in my opinion. And that's coming from someone who did that. And I could see the stress that my family was under now. I didn't see it then. I see it now. I was coaching. I was cheerleading. I was working summer schools. I was doing all the things. And I was really doing harm to my family. Okay, I'm going to move on. He says, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Prioritize the things in your life. Again, go back to seasons. What season am I in? I'm in a beautiful season right now. All of my children, every single last one of them, except Jackson, my youngest, he's 16. He will be 17 this year, but he's graduating high school. My 3 oldest children are grown. They are governmentally grown. 21, she's going to be 22. So I'll have a 22-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 36-year-old, and a 17-year-old. Praise God. I'm in the best time of my life. Is my schedule a little bit more flexible? It could be, but I'm still working. I've got the ministry. I am still doing stuff with my son. I have my own personal activities that I'm doing. So if I want to pull something else in, I can. But when you got little kids, you don't have no time. There's no time. You can't be on the PTA. You can't be at mom's day out. You are raising them children. Eventually, you will have time. And do not neglect your spouse, no matter what season you're in. Don't neglect your family. Don't neglect your spouse. That person is there with you. You hear me? Don't neglect your spouses, because when your kids leave and when all those projects are done and when other people are doing stuff, you're going to be with somebody that's angry with you because you never spent any time with them. Please, please don't do that. Okay, moving on. He says the Bible can help you avoid unhealthy stress. It teaches you to let love guide your relationship so you aren't caught up in unnecessary arguments. If you go to Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 through 14, this was good. I wrote this down in the Message. So chosen by God for this new life of love, dress in the wardrobe God picked out for you. Now, I'm a fashion girly. Okay, I love all things fashion. There is something called your basic essentials. These are the things you should have in your closet. You should have a black pair of slacks. You should have a little black dress. You should have a pair of dark denim jeans. You should have a pair of black jeans. You should have a white t-shirt. You should have at least one blazer, black or white. You should have a pair of nude shoes, black shoes, and maybe navy shoes. So there's it's called a capsule wardrobe, right? And with that capsule, you can put different outfits together. You need at least one two-piece suit, a jacket and a skirt, or a jacket, skirt, and pants that you can take apart. Doesn't always have to be worn together. He says in Colossians, he's giving you the wardrobe of how you're supposed to let love guide you. He says, so chosen by God for this new life of love, right? I need this love to be in my life. God, how am I supposed to do it? Dress in the wardrobe God picked out for you. Compassion, right? Put on compassion. Step into their shoes. Understand that they're stressed out too. They're going through. Kindness. Kindness can do so much for so many people. And it doesn't have to cost you anything. It costs us nothing to be kind, right? Humility, quiet strength, and discipline. Be even tempered, content with second place. Is not always about you. You don't always have to be first. You can be second. It is okay. Doesn't the Bible say to esteem your neighbor higher than yourself? But we never see our spouse as our neighbor, right? We see them as our spouse. I remember this one thing hurt my feelings. And I've been divorced since 2010. Same 2010. And I am praying and asking the Lord and believing God. I believe the Lord has something for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it is. But I'm telling you, I just believe that God has something for me. So I stay ready. I stay available to receive it. And I keep learning things even in my single season, so that when my spouse does show up, I'm not making those same mistakes and stepping in the same pitfalls that I did the first time. So that's what I think the single season is for. I'm not telling you, girl, when you ready, you ain't ready. That's why the Lord ain't giving you no husband. That's stupid. Okay, I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that. But what I will do is, while I'm still in my single season, is I'm going to learn. I'm going to be a student of the word. I'm going to pick up on cues. I'm going to read books. I'm going to pray. I'm going to get myself together so that when the Lord does send, hey, we are off to the races. Ain't no problems. Ain't no problems over here. We good. Let's go. Be even tempered, content with second, quick to forgive an offense, and forgive as quickly and completely as the master forgave you. And regardless of what else you put on, wear love. It's your basic all-purpose garment. Never be without it. So as you go back and look at the things that are in your closet, you're never going to be without a certain thing, right? You have to have those basics. He's saying here in Colossians that a basic for your life is love. Don't ever be without it. Don't ever leave home without the garment of love that wraps you up. And here's the thing: when you see somebody else out there that is struggling, you can take off your garment of love and wrap them in it. That's what he's saying. Put off all the other stuff. Put off all the other stuff. This is a new wardrobe that you need. Compassion, kindness, humility, quiet strength, and discipline. Even tempered, content with second, quick to forgive an offense. Forgive as quickly as God forgives you. As soon as you ask the Lord for forgiveness, he's forgiven. As soon as. It's not your get out of jail free card to go do it again, but as soon as, right? And so as quickly as God forgave you, forgive. Well, you don't know what they did. Does it really matter? Because at some point, I'm sure you did something too. So let's not, point fingers and try to one up each other. Forgive. Forgiveness opens the door for you to get what you need from the Father. Don't block your blessings. Understand what I'm saying? Don't block your blessings. Okay, moving on. The second thing this was good. He said, also take a Sabbath day to rest and recharge and refuel. Most of us Christians take Sunday. Sunday is our church day. We go, we fellowship, we worship, we do all that, and then we come home and take a nap. You take a nap, you reset, you get ready for the week. Give yourself some time to reset. You need that. It's important, not just to you, but to everybody that you have to be responsible for. Don't always have, I'm working 7 days a week. Why? There may be a season, there may come a season when that is required, but it's not every season of life. So if it's not every season of life, my suggestion, my encouragement, let me just encourage, right, is to take rest. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, there is over resting, right? There's laziness. That's not what we're saying. But we're saying at least take an afternoon. Take a nap. Just lay down if you don't even go to sleep. My kids always had quiet time. Sometime in the afternoon, quiet time. Everybody is period at the end. You ain't got to sleep, but you got to be quiet. It helps the house recover. It helps everybody that, was overly stimulated. It helps everybody just settle down. Everybody needs a settling. You too, the kids as well. And you train that over the time that they're growing up. And I promise you, when they get older, they will appreciate it. My 35-year-old tells me all the time, Mom, naps are good. She hated naps, but now naps are good. Absolutely they are, and you should take one, right? Sometimes Mom needs a nap. Okay. The second thing that he talked about that is causes irritability is selfishness. And we talked about selfishness, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. When you're irritable, the heart of the problem is primarily the problem of the heart. He says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's Matthew 12:34. Some people are like lemons. When you squeeze them, they're sour. And some people are like peaches. When you squeeze them, they're still sweet. Are you a lemon or a peach? What is your true countenance, and why are you like that? There are just some sour-faced folks, and you know them. Is life that bad that you have to be that way all the time? Because here's the thing, right? I just lost my grandmother, and we just buried her 2 weeks ago. When I think about how fleeting life is what you're mad at really something to be mad at, and to hold on to it for all these years? Honestly, is it really? Like, you gotta help me understand. Because I don't understand. Somebody didn't wake up this morning. Somebody's kid OD'd. Somebody's husband cheated. All the things. And none of that happened to you, and you mad, and you sour, and you're just not pleasant to be around. Why? And then you're mad because people don't want to be with you. Check yourself. There's got to be something wrong with me, right? Okay, moving on, because we got to get done with this. Being easily angered is an indicator that a hidden area of selfishness or insecurity is present where love is supposed to rule. He talked about lust here, and lust in the sense of wanting what somebody else has, right? I'm mad because my neighbor just got a new car, and I've been driving this 2003 Toyota hatchback, whatever, for 20 years. How's she gonna get a new car? Now you're mad. Yes, babe, but she also got a new car payment. And she got to have that higher price insurance. We don't have none of that over here. Your car still runs. Why are you mad? Because I want something that somebody else has. But you don't know what comes along with that. We all want to be like the Joneses. No, we don't. No, we don't. We do not. The Joneses have credit card debt coming out of their ears. I don't want none of that over here. My credit score is too good right now to be hanging out with them people. He talked about when your heart is full of lust, you easily become frustrated and angry. Bitterness takes root when you respond in a judgmental way and refuse to work through your anger. Person's unresolved anger leaks out when he is provoked, and greed for money and possessions will frustrate you with unfulfilled desires. Stop wanting what other people have. He then talked about pride. Pride leads to you acting harshly in order to protect your ego and your reputation. The fear of embarrassment can overreact, right? I know that I was sharing last night how my ex-husband was embarrassed of me. He was just embarrassed, and I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't dress the way he thought I should. I like to dress up. He was like, "Don't you have any regular clothes?" He was just angry with me for no reason, but he was always embarrassed by me, and I still don't understand, but whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna walk around trying to defend or justify why I do what I do. This makes me feel good, and if it doesn't make you feel good, I think I bought my first pair of jeans when I was married, because I didn't have a pair of jeans before that. I didn't even have a pair of shorts. But if it made you feel better, if it made him feel less offended with me, then I was willing to do that, right? It wasn't something I would have normally done for myself, but I didn't think about myself. I became second. What he wanted, and I'm not saying we do everything they want, because some people are unreasonable in their expectations and their requests. So I'm not saying that. You have to have discernment in your life. But that was something I could do. I could wear jeans with no problem. And now I wear them, period. Skinny ones with heels, and I'm cute. Okay, love will lead you to forgive instead of holding a grudge, to be grateful instead of greedy, to be content rather than rushing into more debt. Love encourages you to be happy when someone else succeeds rather than lying awake at night in envy. Love says, share the inheritance, don't hoard it all for yourself. If somebody passes away, money is the one thing that can get people in an uproar and a tizzy. I'm telling you, when you got money issues and people want the money and nobody wants to share, this is like detrimental. But love says, divide it out. Everybody gets a portion. There are no arguments here. You're not going to argue with me. My grandmother passed, and we knew she had life insurance, and it paid for the funeral and all the things. But she had one I'm the first granddaughter on my father's side. So one grandson, then me. But she had a granddaughter in her home that she had raised since she was a baby. She is not the youngest grandchild, but she's the next to the youngest granddaughter. But she had raised her. And I looked at Diamond and I said, if anybody comes at you crazy about that money, you let me know. Because she took care of my grandmother. None of us have a right to any of it. She has a right to all of it. Love says, hey, I'm not fighting over this. I wasn't here. I didn't do the things. You did them. I'm letting you have it. That's what true love looks like. Selfishness says, I want my portion. Remember the story of King Solomon with the two ladies and the one baby, and they both were arguing over the baby because one lady rolled over and her baby died, so she took the other lady's baby. They had to settle it in court between King Solomon, and he said, I'm going to solve this dispute. We're going to cut the baby in half and you both get a piece. One lady said, sure, that's fine with me. The real mother said, no, don't cut the baby in half. Let her have it. And King Solomon said, we have found the true mother, because she was willing to give up her baby because she loved the baby so much. She didn't want harm to come to the baby, right? I love you so much that I don't want any harm to come to you. So if I got to relinquish my rights to whatever it is you think you need, you can have it. That's what love does. That's what it does. Okay. Love reminds you to prioritize your family rather than sacrifice them for the promotion at work. In each decision, love ultimately lowers your stress and helps you release the venom that can build up inside. It then sets up your heart to respond to your spouse with patience and encouragement rather than anger and exasperation. Now, here is your dare for tomorrow, right? Day 6, tomorrow. Choose today, tomorrow, to start reacting to tough circumstances in your marriage with love instead of irritation. Begin by making a list below of areas where you need to add margin to your schedule. Where do I need to add time? What can I take away that adds time? Then list any selfish motivations that you need to release from your life. I'm doing this because I'm expecting this in return. That's a selfish motivation. That's an agenda. And if you're doing that, then you may need to release that. So the first thing is to get out your calendar and your schedule and see where you can add margin. I need 30 extra minutes here, so I can't do this. I can't work out for 2 hours at the gym. I can hit it for a good hour and 15. That gives me 15 minutes to get home. I've just gained 30 minutes. So you go through and you rationalize, reconcile, check with your spouse. Hey, where we need an extra hour here somewhere. Can we see what's available? Yes, babe, I can work through my lunch and get off 30 minutes early. They allow that at my work, right? So that's how we handle it. So anywho, you guys, where do you need to add margin to your life? When have you recently overreacted? These are the questions at the bottom when you do your reflection. What was your real motivation behind it? Consider what good things you should say no to so that you can be free to prioritize the best things, right? Every answer is not yes. No is an answer as well. And it is okay to say no. Trust me. Try it. It'll do wonders for your life. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I am so excited for what the Lord is going to do in your marriages. Y'all need to keep me abreast. Send me an email, send me a DM, let me know. Hey, today was a good day. He reciprocated, or he was responsive. She did this, she did that. Just let me know. It helps me to know that I'm being helpful and encouraging you. It's hard out here in these marriage streets, y'all. There's so many things happening on social media that don't make marriage seem appealing. And then there's so many people who are recycling people. They just cycling through folk. That's just not for the people. That wasn't God's intent, right? When he created marriages, one man, one woman together for the duration. So I'm excited for you. I am praying for you guys that you all are going to do this with fidelity and you're going to see the fruit of your labor. Thank you so much for stopping by. Like the video, share, subscribe, do all of the things. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for day 7, which is Love Believes the Best. Tomorrow night, we'll prep for day 7, Love Believes the Best. Thank y'all again so much for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Bye now.